Hey guys, welcome back to Closet MTG, and we have another fun video in store for you guys today. Today we're gonna switch it up a little bit, guys, and we're starting a new series on deck techs today. And today we're gonna start off with an EDH deck tech. This is the newest EDH deck that I built, and guys, be warned. I mean, I would say this is more, at least from my perspective, a competitive deck. I mean, and I think a few of my friends realized, or I didn't even realize it was as competitive as it was, or as it played out over this past weekend playing a few games. The deck just went off, and actually it got to the point where it really wasn't even fun for me because I let one of my buddies play with the deck, and the games were short. Let's just say that. But today, guys, I'm just going to walk you through the contents of the deck. I'll lay out all the cards and so forth. I'm going to talk a few of the strategies. I won't get into too much detail. But yeah, if you guys please drop some comments. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, you can critique me, all that stuff. I'd really love to hear from you guys. So without any further delay, what are we doing today? Well, as you can see right there, Winoda. Joiner of Forces, guys. This card is absolutely busted. I mean, especially when given the right build or the right cards around. This card is just crazy. And let me just tell you guys what this card does. So what she does. Whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a human creature among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Put the rest of the cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. For those of you who play Standard, when Agent of Treachery was still legal, yeah, the Jeskai Winota builds were flourishing. Let's just say that. I mean, she still sees some play here and there, but yeah, she is just nasty, especially if you can get multiple triggers of her. And then potentially have multiple combat steps. Yeah, it's pretty much game over. So, I mean, you can pretty much go through your entire deck if she goes off, when she really goes off. Although she is susceptible to, at least as you'll see, when I get to the other cards, the deck is susceptible to sweepers. And so it's got to go off early for it to be for it to be crazy. So, guys, let's go through the deck. I'm gonna pull everything out here. The sleeves. Really, just gonna go through it. I think just gonna sort of wing it here, guys. So we got Winota. Put her off to the side here. Make sure she stays on camera. Other than that, I'm just gonna start going through the cards. There's really there's no any order. These are literally just shuffled. So we got some snow. Got some artifacts here. We got a Mana Vault from, 4th edition Mana Vault. Got our plains, our mountains. So Spirit of the Labyrinth. Yeah, so this is obviously a non-human. So whenever this creature attacks, this would be like a Winota trigger potentially. You can see whenever non-human creature control attacks, you look at the top 6 and find a human. So this would be a non-human, and this also slows players down. Slows the deck's trying to ramp, or the control builds, because each player can't draw more than one card each turn. So it's almost like a death and taxes type thing. So those are creatures. So we got plains, Shatterstorm Smashing, just a good land to have in EDH. Draneth Magistrate, I think I'm going to be taking this card out just because it's too powerful. It just shuts stuff down. It's a not fun card, but I mean, what it does, yeah, I mean, opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. I mean, it pretty much screws Muldrotha, and this is a human, so now we're factoring this is a card that Winota can search up, and as soon as it hits the battlefield, I mean, obviously all your opponents, they can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. So no graveyard recursion and so forth. We're going to have humans in one pile, non-humans in another pile. Ancient Tomb, just a staple for EDH. We got another mountain. We got an Ornithopter. This will cause a Winota trigger. It's free. It's flying. It's going to get through for the most part, especially early in the game. If you need that Winota trigger. So it's a non human, other planes. Glow Rider, again, more hate. This is non-human, it's a cleric. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to play. Again, hits the battlefield, slows everything down, makes it tough for your opponents to respond and so forth, especially like maybe they have that Wrath of God or they have that Sweeper, but I mean they can't play it because it costs 1 more to play. They don't have enough mana. Commander Sphere, little foil, you can see it's, wow, look at that, it's Commander Legends, you can tell right there. Yeah, just a staple commander card. Planes, we got a little rugged player for the duel. We'll have our duel down here, I guess. I'm gonna make planes up there, make a little room for the dual lands. Okay, we got a lightning bolt from Revised. It's a pretty cool card. Just some removal. Scourge of the Throne. Here we go. So we're talking about, this is again a non-human, so this will get a Winota trigger. And also, if it attacks for each time each turn, if it's attacking the player that has the most life or tied for the most life, untap all your attacking creatures. After this phase, there's additional combat steps. Now you can get another round of Winota triggers. So yeah, it gets pretty crazy. Commander's Plate. This is just a really cool or powerful Commander Legends equipment to throw on just any creature or throw on Winota to make it tougher for her to leave the battlefield. So just a solid artifacts. Got my favorite planes of all time. Yeah, the artwork is amazing. A little foil. I love the older foils too. I just think it's just so cool. Kranko, little foil Kranko action. Yeah, I mean, he's just going to create goblins. And remember, goblins are non-human, so it's more Winota triggers. Goblins is like the second subtype to humans in this deck. Splinter Twin, just because you can, yeah, pretty much copy any of the powerful, like, even though like this, like copy a Scourge or something like that, or we can't copy Kranko, but yeah, like a non-legend creature, and just, yeah, create copies of it and deal a crazy amount of damage. There's an infinite combo in the deck that I didn't even realize. When I get to the card, I'll definitely mention it, but with Splinter Twin, where you can pretty much just go infinite. So we'll have a spot for our enchantments right here. Enlightened Tutor, just to search up, because there's some really powerful enchantments in this deck. So we got a little Tempest Tutor action going on. Where we're going to put this, we'll put our instance up here. See our spot for our sorceries. Angel's Grace, just another commander staple. Actually used this to prevent like 60 damage in one of the games. But I mean, I ended up dying the next turn anyway, but still. Great card. Split second, so no one can like counter it or respond to it essentially once it's on the stack. Direfleet Devil, oh my god, this Daredevil, this card is so much fun just because you can play pretty much any target instant or sorcery from an opponent's graveyard, and I can cast it with any type of mana. So if I need a sweeper, if I need something that this deck typically doesn't have, I mean, this is and also it's a human too, so I can search it up too as part of an attack with Winoda. Torch Courier. Haste, giving another creature haste, just to get that Winota trigger off and try to go crazy, try to go infinite essentially. Or infinite, but just as many Winota triggers as possible within an attack step. Impulsive Pilfer, again, just some good value. This is Commander Legends. Surprised this card's even a common. I mean, it's got the Encore ability and just ability to create treasure tokens and so forth. It's a goblin too. Like I said, there's a lot of goblin tribal aside from human tribal in this deck. Yeah, we got the Lotus too. Just try to get Winoda out by turn 3, which is pretty crazy, or even earlier if possible. Battlefield Forge for the dual land action, our non-basic land. We got an Emerias Shieldbreaker. This is again a human. I can destroy an artifact. It's good to have that artifact destruction in any commander deck. Remorseful Cleric, Graveyard Hate. One of my buddies, he plays Meldrotha, so yeah, this card is like a must-have for any type of deck where the graveyard is key. Also, it's a non-human, so you get that trigger. Got a little Arid Mesa, a Zendikar Rising Box Topper. or Expedition. Grim Monolith. This is actually one of my recent purchases, guys. A little reserve list action, and it's pretty much, it's got a little nick up top, so aside from that, it's pretty much near mint. But yeah, Grim Monolith, I mean, really much not too much to be said about that. I mean, it's just a great mana rock. Selfless Spirit, giving all your creatures indestructible, so for the ones who are attacking that don't get indestructible, that aren't fetched up through Winota, yeah, you can save a creature for another turn or survive a board wipe or, of some sorts, like this deck is very susceptible to, and also it's a non-human. Got a little Haktos action. There's our human. This guy is just absolutely filthy, especially like because he's a human. You can search him up with Winota. Hits the battlefields. I mean, just pretty much is tough to remove because of all the different potential protection options and so forth. Now back to more of the hate. We got Linvala shutting off all the activated abilities of creatures. Again, non-human. Linvala is an awesome card. Here we go. So Combat Celebrant, where you can, I mean, yeah, having multiple attack steps to get multiple triggers of Winota. I mean, Combat Celebrant is just, it's definitely a must-have in this deck, and it's a human, so I can search it up. Bruse Tarl, we got a little edge foil action from Commander Legends. Yeah, I mean, it's when it enters the battlefield, the creature gets double strike and lifelink, and when it attacks, double strike and lifelink. I mean, it's just a solid card. Especially some life gain, which this deck typically doesn't have much life gain aside from Bruse Tarl. Here we go, Zealous Conscripts. So this is the one that with Splinter Twin, I believe you can go infinite, because you just attach it and then tap it and create a copy of it, and then enters the battlefield so and gain a permanent and so forth. And then it gains haste, and it's just, yeah, it's just absolutely, yeah. Zealous Conscripts, another human I can search up, guys. Legion War Boss, Goblin creature token machine. Just create a bunch of creatures, or create a bunch of goblins, and with each goblin, it's another Winota trigger. Recruiter of the Guard. Again, I can search up through Winota, search up Recruiter of the Guard, or through a Winota trigger, search up Recruiter of the Guard, which then will, when it hits the battlefield, I can search for another creature, toughness of 2 or less, put it in my hand to get ready for the next turn. Again, it's a human. Here's another Recruiter, Imperial Recruiter. Again, same thing, hits the battlefield from Winota trigger, search up another creature, so the next turn is going to be even crazier. Seasoned Pyromancer, some card draw. Card draw is definitely lacking within this deck. So being able to create the elementals, which will lead to more Winota triggers. I can search it up through Winota. Thalias Lancers, another card that's going to allow you to search your battlefield for a legendary card, reveal it, put it in your hands. 4/4 first strike, again, just solid card to search up through Winota. This card needs to be taken out of the deck just because this is not fun. I mean, but it is like, so I mean, from a competitive standpoint, this card and Drannith Magistrate, I mean, it's just must-haves, but like if you're just playing casual, I mean, like when somebody drops this and if they have all non-basic lands, it's like, okay, like their game's pretty much over, so it's just not fun. But yeah, it's a powerful card. I mean, just pretty much shuts down people that have non-basic lands. You pretty much lose once it hits the battlefield because you can't respond to it because you can't tap anything. Like, yeah, you're pretty much screwed, but it's a human. Some more Death and Taxes type action. Ethersworn Canonist. Each player can cast who has cast a non-artifact spell can't cast another non-artifact spell this turn, so it just slows people down. The human. Thalia, yeah, slowing more. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast, just slow stuff down. So it's like if you get that one attack step in, guys, I mean, then you hit like 1 or 2 of these where it's like non-creature spells cost 1 more, or like some type of like hate that's slowed, or you can only cast 1 spell a turn. It's tough for the other decks to come back from that, especially earlier on where you need to get to that 3rd or 4th mana to be able to play the board wipe. But it's, again, another human. We got the Grand Abolisher, pretty much shutting down counter spells or activated abilities during your turn, so you can pretty much do what you want. Another human. Mother of Runes for protection. I'm going to start going over top of the cards that are already here. Loyal Apprentice to be able to create more potential Winota triggers where, like, being your upkeep on combat, you can create a little 1/1 Thopter and give it haste. if you have your commander in play. So, but yeah, if Winota's in play. Goblin Lackey, man. A little Urza Saga action going because, like I said, Goblin is the second subtype, so forth, to humans, and just being able to cheat in a Goblin from your hand into play. I mean, just prepares. It's another Winota trigger on the next turn, just waiting to happen. We got a little Sacred Foundry, a little Sunbaked Canyon. We got the Ranger, little foil Ranger, Captain of Eos. From Modern Horizons. Yeah, again, just hits the battlefield, search for a creature with Venom cost 1 or less, reveal, put it in your hand. Also, this bottom part actually boned me. Well, when my buddy was playing with this deck, because I couldn't stop it. He just sacked, like, as soon as it hit my upkeep, he sacked this thing, and I couldn't cast non-creature spells to wipe the board. And yeah, he got another turn to swing with 5 creatures, 5 Winota triggers. Next thing you know, there's 20 creatures on the board, and yeah, all the hate and so forth, nothing could happen. So, or no one could respond to that. But yeah, it's another great card to have. Hope, yeah, again, just a flying creature that can get through, leads to a Winota trigger. Yeah, I mean, and you can sack it until your next turn. Target player who's dealt damage by it can't cast non-creature spells, so it just slows the game down. Which that's what this deck wants, to be able to sort of just take control. A little Pathway. We got Embercleave. Probably not the greatest card for this deck, but it's just fun. I mean, you know, you got to put your spin on it. That's why I have Embercleave. Aven Mind Sensor to shut down someone who's trying to tutor something up. You can only search the top 4 cards versus their entire library for whatever they want. It's another Winota trigger, potentially. The Bell Ringer. Human comes into play, untaps all your creatures. That's nice after you do like a big attack, because you're very vulnerable. Pretty much every turn you're going to be attacking when you can with Winota. Be a Village Bell Ringer. Just a good human card. Sort of Plowshares, and you guys see me pull this the other day. I mean, it's bent as crap, but still from Commander Legends. Still love the artwork, very cool card. Commander Legends. So we got a little Invasion, Plains, a little Plateau Dual Land, guys. We'll definitely be doing another video soon about what dual lands I've purchased in 2020. I mean, that was definitely a big subset of my investing in Magic the Gathering, was dual lands and reserve lists and so forth. So that'll definitely be a video I'll be making soon. This is pretty much Gem Mint Plateau. Clifftop Retreat, more lands. Yep, I mean, pretty much got to have it in every commander deck, Soul Ring, or at least competitive commander deck. Deflecting SWAT, yeah. I mean, these commander cards from Ikoria, yeah. I mean, this is just incredible. I mean, free casting, change the target of a spell to another target. Pretty much enough said. I mean, it's like an auto include, I would think, in any red commander deck. Cavern of Souls, Zendikar Rising Box Topper. As I pulled this early on, guys, I mean, probably like one of the first videos I had on YouTube. We got the Cavern of Souls Box Topper. It is a little bent, but not quite as bent as the Commander Legends. But yeah, I mean, just humans and goblins, you just can't counter now, for the most part. Yeah, every Boros or red and white commander deck, this is an auto include in my opinion. I mean, Sunforger being able to just unattach it and search up for that Angel's Grace, or sort of Plowshares, or Deflecting SWAT, or Lightning Bolt, or pretty much everything you see here I can search up just and cast it for free by unattaching Sunforger. It's just a great card. Goblin Rabblemaster, again, just create more Goblin Token Machine. He becomes big himself. He does make all goblins attack, but hey, I'm attacking every turn if I can, regardless, because Winota, I want those Winota triggers. Got some lands, Signet, another land, another Plains. Skull Clamp, like I said, the drawing in this deck is just, it's definitely the weakness, especially if I get hit with the board wipe. I'm just pretty much top decking at that point. So being able to replenish my hands, Skull Clamp is definitely one of the few draw options that I have. And you can just take out like a goblin, draw 2 cards, and get ready. Prismatic Vista, Yep. I mean, it's pretty much just a way to thin out the deck. Good lands. A revised Wheel of Fortune action, guys. This is definitely one of the cards I invested in last year. Yeah, I mean, it's got a little surface damage or surface like grime, but aside from that, I mean, it's pretty much, I'd say, near mint. Another card that's been rising a lot in price recently. I think that's our first sorcery, to be honest. Anyway, so we got some planes, little Vrin Wingmare. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Again, just shut and make it. Once one of these things hit, yeah, it's tough for the control decks to be able to respond. So, a little Mana Confluence, just a good card to have. Good land card. Aggravated Assaults. The fact that you can do this multiple times potentially. Have like 2 or 3 attack steps. Yeah, its card is just, I mean, let me just read. I mean, untap all your creatures you control at this phase. There's additional combat phase, additional main phase. Being able to, I mean, sometimes your opponents, if they're tapped out, I mean, they can't do anything. I mean, you're just going to swing in, get one set of Winota triggers, again, another set of Winota triggers. Now, even with the new creatures that were brought into play, I mean, it's busted card in my opinion. That's the old version from Onslaught. Orim's Chant, being able to shut down a player, say they can't play spells, they can't attack. Instant speed, another card that can be searched up through Sunforger. Yeah, pretty much another Commander Gold card. Just Dockside Sorceress, being able to, everyone's playing artifacts, enchantments, create a bunch of treasures, have all that extra mana. Because there is not, even though there are, I mean, I've been going through a lot of mana sources here. There's not a ton of mana sources. It's more of an aggro build. So we're on the lower end, like 32, 33 lands, I think, in terms of total lands in the deck. So it's a goblin too, powerful goblin. Goblin Recruiter, because we can search up all the other goblins, put them on top of my library from Visions. Skirk Prospector, can sacrifice those goblins to add mana. Really, yeah, it's just, again, another goblin to throw in there. Generous Gift, another card searched up by Sunforger to destroy a permanent. I took out an Ugin with this on Friday, or on this past weekend when I was playing with my buddies. So yeah, it's just a powerful card. Wear and Tear, destroying artifacts and enchantments, double-sided. Another card searched up through Sunforger. Yeah, Plains. Eidolon, each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. A little spirit action going on. Cathar's Crusade, yeah. I mean, you get this thing out with Winoda. Yeah. Remember, every time Winota triggers, another creature's going into the battlefield, and each creature's put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. This gets absolutely crazy when that happens. We got Mountain, little Spectator Seating for the Battle Bond type land. Mountain, Thorn of the Amethyst. Again, non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. I'm not casting many non-creature spells. Again, it's just hate. So once I drop this, people are just, yeah, everyone gets upset. So maybe taking that card out, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, Mog Catcher, search up some more goblins. Get that Cranko or the Dockside Sorceress if I need mana, or the Recruiter to get more. I mean, it's just, and it's also a non-human, so it gets the Winona trigger. Gamble, Red's version of Tutor, just a fun card. I mean, I played it the other day. I played it the other day for the first time, and I thought it was fun, just because. Yeah, I mean, just you spin the wheel, see what happens. I mean, you get the card you want, or maybe you lose something. The guy ended up dropping a Linvala by accident. I wanted Linvala in my hand, that I ended up searching up. I mean, the card that I searched for, I ended up getting, but I ended up having to put Linvala in my graveyard. But yeah, Gamble, Red's version of Tutor. Got Emerias Call, just out of the blue, create a bunch of angels that could potentially win the game. I think it's pretty much an auto-include in any white commander deck for the most part. Put that in the sorcery spot. And then we got Plains, got a Court of Ire. Just for fun. I mean, Monarch, I think is a great ability, is a great mechanic for a commander. I think it just adds another facet to the game. And yeah, I mean, it's also a good card too, in that you're the Monarch. You can just start taking out players or permanent, or doing 7 damage to a permanent if you're the Monarch. So just a fun card to have. And then Plains. So yeah, guys, I mean, like I said, it's mostly obviously human, it's creature centric, humans and goblins for the most part, with a lot of things that slow players down. And like I said, like it gets crazy. I mean, if this deck gets off to a fast start, it's tough to come back. I mean, like it's pretty much game over, because by turn 3 or turn 4, I mean, or even turn 5, like you have, if you can get an attack in with Winota before turn 4, like there's the possibility that like if your opponents don't have a board wipe, or if you're able to get one of these cards that say non-creature spells cost 1 less to cast, or you can only play 1 spell a turn essentially, or they can't respond during your turn. I mean, it's tough to come back from. I mean, it's funny because like we're coming up on 25 minutes here, so just to end the video, just a short story. So yeah, I mean, like I played with this deck on this past weekend, and I got off to sort of a fast start, but somebody was able to wipe the board, and I couldn't do anything about it. And then for the rest of the game, I'm pretty much just top decking. But then I let my buddy play with the deck, and he won like on turn 4. It was pretty much over. Everyone just conceded. And then we played again, and the exact same thing happened, where we just couldn't. I mean, I couldn't respond, even with like my other like pretty powerful EDH deck. I just couldn't get like the non-creature being able to like increase my mana cost of non-creature spells. Just completely screws any of the control or ramp decks down. I mean, especially if this deck gets off to a fast start. But yeah, guys, I don't think. I mean. I thought it would be really fun to make a deck like this, but I think I'm going to make some changes to it to take out some of the hate, because I feel like it is too powerful, just because of, just being able to affect all my opponents. They pretty much can't play. When you can't play anything, it's just not fun. But yeah, if you're looking at I don't know, entering some EDH tournament, which I'm probably never going to do, maybe something like this you would like. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys, give me your feedback, give me your thoughts, guys. Winota, she's badass. My God, it's just, I feel like it's fun to play the deck when it goes off, but when it's going off against you, it's just like, all right, dude, like enough already. Like you have your 30 creatures, your two attack steps. Let's just restart and you use another deck or something like that. So. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys like this. Again, a new type of video for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, just sort of walking through like how the deck works and so forth, and all the different synergies, or some of the synergies. I know I didn't get to everything. But yeah, please drop a comment, leave some feedback. If you guys have made a deck similar like this, where you're just like, damn, like this thing is just too powerful, for my group of friends, and like some of your friends may have gotten salty over that, I mean, definitely let me know about that too. Give me some comments, critiques, all that good stuff, guys. But yeah, aside from that, guys, really hope you enjoyed this new type of video from me. I will definitely be putting out another one sometime in the near future. May not be just EDH, could be across Modern or Standard, the other 2 formats that I play. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that good stuff, guys. And we'll catch you sometime soon for the next video. Take care, everyone.